Dear learners, I welcome all of you to this module. Today, we are going to discuss about cut vertices and cut edges. Yes, in this module, we are going to deal with cut vertices and cut edges of a graph. First, let us start with some of the basic definitions. That is, we are going to recall some of the definitions that we already did. Walk, an alternating sequence of vertices, the set consisting of vertices V0, V1, V2, etc. Vp and edges E1, E2, E3, etc. Ep of graph G is a walk. That is, if we traverse a graph, we get a walk W of a graph G. It is represented as W is equal to V0, E1, V1, E2, etc. Ep, Vp. The walk joins V0 and Vp is called as V0 Vp walk. V0 is the origin or initial vertex and Vp is the terminus or terminal vertex. We note that each Ei, that is edge Ei, is incident with Vi minus 1 and Vi. Length of the walk is the number of edges in a walk. Let us see an example. The figure that you are going to see is on the screen. For that, the walks are, that is V1, V5 walk I am going to tell now. V1, E1, V2, E2, V3, E3, V4, E6, V2, E1, V1, E5, V5. That is the walk that connects V1 and V5. So, that is called as V1, V5 walk and it is of length 6. Next, we are going to recall the definition of trial. If the edges appearing in a walk is distinct, then that walk is called as trial. Next, the definition of path. If the vertices in a walk are distinct, then that walk is called as a path. And one such example is V1, E1, V2, E6, V4, E3, V3, E2, V2, E1, E5 for the figure that we already seen. That is a trial because the edges are distinct, but it is not a path because paths, that vertices are not distinct here, vertices are repeated, whereas in the path, that is V1, E1, V2, E2, V3, E3, V4, E4, V5, that is a path because the vertices are distinct and a path is automatically becomes a trial. If we have a path, then that is the vertices are distinct, then obviously edges are going to be distinct, which means that every path is a trial. And let us see the definition of a closed walk. If V0 is equal to Vn, then the walk is called is closed, otherwise we call that as a open walk. And let us see the definition of a cycle. Let us recall the definition of a cycle. If V0, Vn, Vn minus 1 are distinct and n greater than or equal to 3 in a closed trial, then that is called as a cycle of length n and it is denoted by Cn. And some examples are on the screen, you can see it now. We are going to recall the definition of connected and disconnected graphs also because we will be needing, we'll need that for the definition of cut vertex and cut edges. So, two vertices u and v of a graph is said to be connected if there exists a uv path in G, and if every pair of points of a graph G are connected, then the graph G is considered to be a connected graph. That is, if a graph is connected, then there exists a path between every vertices of that graph. If a graph is not connected, then we call that graph as a disconnected graph. And we already seen so many examples, and Kn is a connected graph while Kn complement is disconnected. It is easily visualized that connectedness of points is an equivalence relation on the set of vertices V0, V1, V2, etc. Vn or the equivalence classes of V such that U and V belong to V1 if and only if U and V are connected. Let's see the definition of components. Let Gi or the induced subgraphs of Vi clearly EGI is a connected graph and they are called as components omega of G. And if the number of components is equal to 1, then obviously G is connected. If the number of components, that is omega, greater than or equal to 2, then G is disconnected. An example is on the screen. So, that is a disconnected graph with 4 components. We shall see the definition of cut vertex. A vertex V of graph G is said to be a cut vertex if its removal increases the number of components of G. And if V is a cut vertex of a connected graph G, then G difference V is disconnected. That is, if G is already connected, then the number of components is 1. If you remove a vertex, that should increase the number of components, which means if V is a cut vertex, then G difference V should be disconnected. We shall see the definition of cut edge, and cut edge is also known as bridge. An edge in a graph G whose removal increases the number of components of G, then the edge is considered as a cut edge or bridge. That is, the same definition goes for cut edge also. If we replace edge in the place of vertices, then we get the definition of cut edges. That is, if we remove edges from that graph, the number of components should increase. And if G is a connected graph already, and G difference edge should be disconnected if that edge is a cut edge. Now, we will find cut edges and cut vertices for the two graphs that I drawn here. The first graph is G1. Here G1, as you can see, G1 has two components. The one is this, the another one is this. A components itself should be connected, and these two components are connected. The total together I am going to call that as G1, the graph G1. So, here for this graph G1, I am going to find cut vertices as well as cut edges. So, according to the definition of cut vertices, if I remove a particular vertex, my number of components should get increased. That is, if I remove this vertex V1, I will be left out with V3, V2, and there are no lines between V3 and V2, because on the removal of V1 will remove the edges E3 and E1 also. Here V4, I will be having V4, V5 and E4. So, the number of components get increased here. V3, an isolated vertex, becomes one component, and V2 isolated vertex becomes another component. Here this is the third component. That is, if I remove this vertex V1, my number of components get increased, that is 3. Previously it was 1, now it is 3 after the removal of vertex V1, which means V1 is a cut vertex for this graph G1. So, V1 is a cut vertex for this graph G1. Similarly, I am going to find cut edges of G. So, if I what is the definition of cut edges of G? Instead of removing a vertex, I have to remove the edges, and the number of components should get increased. So, here look at the diagram. Here if I remove the edge E1, I will be left out with V1, V3, V2, V4, V5, E4 and E3, and there is no line between V1 and V2 as I removed the edge E1, and of course there is no path between V1 and V2, which means the graph becomes disconnected and the number of components also get increased. That is, this is one component, V2 alone comprises of another component, that is second component, and this is third component. So, removal of E1 increases the number of components of G1, which means E1 is a cut edge of G1. Similarly, E3 is a cut edge of G1, and if I remove E4, what happens? If I remove E4 and there is no path between V4 and V5, here also number of components is 3, and this is one component. V4 alone comprises of second component, V5 alone comprises of third component. The number of components also increase here, that is 3. So, E4 is also a cut edge for this graph G1. So, from here we can tell that our cut edges need not be always unique. We can have so many cut edges as well as cut vertices also. Look at this graph G2. Here G2 is a connected graph, which means the number of components here is 1. We have to consider the entire graph as a single component. For this graph, I am going to find cut vertices and cut edges. So here cut vertices, consider this vertex V4. So if I remove V4, what happens? That remove the vertex V4 and edges E3, E5 and E4 also. So I will be left out with V1, E1, V2, E2, V3 and V2, E6, V6 and the isolated vertex V5. Here the number of components becomes 2 on removal of the vertex V4, which means the graph becomes disconnected here, which means V4 is a cut vertex for this graph G2. Similarly, consider V2. If I remove V2 also, the number of components becomes 2, therefore V2 is a cut vertex for this graph G2. Now, I am going to find cut edges of G2, that is, I am going to remove lines and I am going to verify whether my graphs becomes disconnected or not, or the number of components is increasing or not. So, here consider the edge E1, here we are having an edge, no? So, if I remove this edge E1, what will happen? My V1 becomes an isolated vertex, that is V1 becomes another component and all other together will comprise of single component. Here therefore, E1 is a cut edge we also call that edge as a bridge. Similarly, consider this edge E4. On removal of this edge E4, my graph will become disconnected, that is it will contain two components. One component comprises of this part, the other one consists only the isolated vertex V5. So, here also my graph number of components is increasing, which means that E4 is a cut edge, that is E4 is a bridge here. Now, we are going to see another theorem. This theorem is based upon cut edge or bridge. The previous theorem we proved for cut vertex. So, same thing we are going to prove for bridge also. Theorem statement is, so here I am going to take a edge E belong to E of G, where G is a connected graph. Then I am going to prove these three statements are equivalent to one another. The first statement is E is a cut edge of G, and second one, there exists a partition of V into subsets U and W such that U belong to W and W belong to small w belong to capital W. Then E, that is the edge E, is in every UW path. This is second one. And the third one, there exist vertices U and W in V of G such that edge E is in every UW path. So, here we are going to prove these three statements are equivalent to one another. I am going to prove like 1 implies 2, 2 implies 3, 3 implies 1. So, if I prove like this way, in this way, and if any one of the statement holds true, then the rest of the statements also holds good. First one, I am going to assume the first statement, I am going to get the result of second one. That is the first one, I am going to assume let E be a cut edge of G. So, since E is a cut edge of G, according to the definition of a bridge, G difference E is disconnected. Since G is connected, the number of components in G is 1, and here G difference E is disconnected, obviously number of components will get increased. It may be 2 or more than 2. Anyhow, what I am going to do is, I am going to collect points of one component as U, capital U, the vertex set, and the other one as capital W. That is, I am going to take, there exist two components and I am going to collect all the vertices of one component and I am going to call that as U, and all the vertices of another component I am collecting and calling that as W. And here you can note down that if I take a point U in belong to capital U and W belong to capital W, I cannot find a path that connects U and W because these two are disconnected, right. So, there exists no path between U and W, whereas in G is connected, whereas in G I can always find a path between U and W. So, here the removal of E, affects the path between U and W, which means E should be there in every UW path in G. So, here we already partitioned, that is here you can find U intersection W is equal to empty. We already partitioned the vertex set into subsets U and W such that if U belong to U and W belong to capital W, E should be there in every UW path in G. And so we proved the second statement. 1 implies 2 part got over now. So here the next one we are going to prove 2 implies 3, that is I am going to assume the second statement, I am going to prove the third one. Second statement, I am going to assume there exists a partition of V into subsets U and W such that U belong to U and W belong to W, guarantee me that E should be there in every UW path. And what I am going to prove? I am going to prove the existence of vertices U and W in V of G such that E belong to every UW path. So that is pretty obvious, because in the second statement we have U belong to U whenever U is in U and W is in W, that the edge E is already in every UW path. Here the existence of U and W is already guaranteed by the partition of U and W. So the second statement is third statement is pretty obvious, that already obviously follows from the second one, and 2 implies 3 part is also over. So 3 implies 1, 3, what I am going to assume is existence of vertices U and W in V of G such that the edge E is in every UW path. So this statement I am going to assume. I am going to prove E is a cut edge of G. So since E is in every UW path, we cannot have a path that connects U and W without E. So which means if I remove E, obviously what happens, there does not exist any UW path, right? So which means that if I remove E, my G will become disconnected as there is no path between U and W. That imply me that E is a cut edge of G. So 3 implies 1. So I proved 1 implies 2, 2 implies 3, and again 3 implies 1, which makes all the 3 statements as equivalent statements. Now we are going to see another theorem which actually tells us the necessary and sufficient condition for an edge to be a cut edge in a connected graph. Okay, so the statement is an edge of a connected graph G is a cut edge if and only if E, that edge, does not belong to any cycle, and cycle is represented by C, any cycle of G. So here we are going to, this is a infinite leaf part, so I am going to prove 2 statements. The first one I am going to assume E as a cut edge, and I am going to prove E does not lie in any cycle of G. So I assumed E to be a cut edge, and suppose E is in cycle, a particular cycle of G. So I have assumed E is in cut edge and E is there in a cycle C, and I am going to take 2 vertices from G, that is U, V belong to G, and since G is a connected graph, there always exists a path between U and V. I am going to call that path as P. So here I have drawn U, V, so it will containing lot of vertices, that I am going to call that path as P. So what happens if E is there in P? So if E is there in P, what happens here? Consider this, if E is there in P, we can replace that E by cycle C difference E, because E is there in C, right? So consider this as a cycle. So this is a cycle C and E is there. Here I have drawn an edge, right? So this is an E. So there is a path between U and V. This is P. E is also there in that path. What I can do now is I can remove this E, and I can join the path by C difference E. That will give me U, the cycle, followed by C difference E, and then V. So there is another path here, which means even if I remove E from the path, E from the graph, I can find a path that connects U and V. That implies here U and V I have chosen as an arbitrary point, which means this is true for every UV path. That tells me even if I remove the edge E in G, my graph still going to be a connected graph. That is a contradiction for my assumption. My assumption is E is a cut edge. So if E belong to P, then I am getting a contradiction. What happens if E does not belong to P? So if E does not belong to the path P, which means here even if I remove E, the path P does not going to alter, which means my E has no effect on the path that connects U and V. So even if I remove E here, there exists path between U and V. That tells me that G is going to be a connected again. So that is also a contradiction to my assumption E is cut edge. So why should I have an assumption? Because I assumed E is there in a cycle C. So now I conclude that if E is a cut edge, then E should not be there in any cycle C of G. My first part is over. So for the converse part, I am going to assume the edge is not in every cycle of G, that is E does not belong to a cycle C of G, and I am going to take that edge that connects U and V, that is let UV is equal to E. So since E is not a cut edge, so I have to prove E is a cut edge. Suppose E is not a cut edge, that tells me G difference E is connected. So since G difference E is connected, I can always find a path between U and V in G difference E. So now listen here. So this path UV along with the line E that connects UV in G forms a cycle, right? So this path UV path along with the line E in G forms a cycle. That is again a contradiction because I have assumed E does not belong to a cycle C of G, which means that it should be a cut edge. My assumption is wrong, so E should be a cut edge. So converse part is also over. The theorem gives me actually the necessary and sufficient condition for an edge in a connected graph to be a cut edge. That is, that edge should not be there in any cycle of G. Let's see another theorem. The statement is, every non-trivial connected graphs has at least two vertices which are not cut vertices. Let's see the proof now. Okay, that's actually if n is equal to 2, we will be getting K2, and so there is no cut vertex there. If n greater than or equal to 3, let U and V be two vertices of G such that distance between U and V is maximum. We are going to choose like that. Suppose U is a cut vertex of G, then G difference U would be disconnected graph. That is, G difference U has more than one component. The vertex V belongs to one of the components of G. Let W be any vertex belonging to a component of G difference U that does not contain V. Then by the theorem, first theorem that we see now, every VW path contains U. That implies distance between V, W is greater than distance between U and V. That is a contradiction to our assumption. Hence, U is not a cut vertex. Similarly, V is not a cut vertex of G. Let's see a result now. If X is equal to UV is a bridge for a connected graph G that is not equal to K2, then either U or V is a cut vertex of G. We will prove now. Let G be a connected graph and X is equal to UV is a bridge. Since G is not equal to K2, G must have at least 3 vertices. Let W be the third vertex. Let it be adjacent either to U or to V. Let W be adjacent to V. Now, G difference V becomes disconnected. Since X and the lines incident at V get removed, therefore V is the cut vertex. We shall see the definition of a block now. A connected non-trivial graph having no cut vertex is a block. A block of a graph is a subgraph that is a block and is maximal with respect to that property. An example is shown on the screen. For that, the blocks are given. One is K3, another one is K2, another one is last component. Okay, so we will see the theorem now. Let G be a connected graph with at least 3 vertices. Then the following statements are equivalent. First statement, G is a block. Second statement, any 2 vertices of G lie on a common cycle. Third one, any vertex and any edge of G lie on a common cycle. Last one, any 2 edges of G lie on a common cycle. So we are going to prove all the 4 statements are equivalent to each other. So I am going to follow the same procedure. First we are going to prove 1 implies 2. We are going to assume that G is a block, and I am going to prove this by distance induction on distance between U and V. And so I am going to take 2 vertices U and V that lies on a common cycle. If the distance between U and V is equal to 1, then U and V are adjacent. by a hypothesis, since G is not equal to K2 and G have no cut vertex. Hence, the edge x is equal to uv is not a bridge, and hence by the theorem that we seen already, x is on a cycle of G. Hence, the vertices u and v lie on a common cycle of G. Now, assume the result is true for any two vertices at distance less than k, and let distance between u and v is equal to k, that is greater than or equal to 2. Consider a uv path of length k. Let w be a vertex which precedes the vertex v on this uv path. Then, distance between u and w is equal to k minus 1. Hence, by induction hypothesis, there exists a cycle C where the vertices u and w lie on it. Now, since G is a block, w is not a cut vertex, G difference w becomes connected. Hence, there will be a uv path P not containing w. Let v dash be the last vertex common to P and the cycle C. Since u is common to the path P and the cycle C, such v dash exists. Let q be the u v dash path along the cycle C not containing the vertex w. Then, q followed by the v dash v path along P, the line vw, and wu path along C, line disjoint from q, form a cycle that contains both u and v. This completes our induction. Thus, any two vertices of G lie on a common cycle of G, we proved. And then we are going to prove 2 implies 1. For this, I am going to assume u and v to be the two vertices lie on a common cycle of G. Suppose v is a cut vertex of G, then there exists two u and w distinct from v, such that every uw path contains v. This is by the theorem, first theorem that we seen now today. Now, by hypothesis, u and w lie on a common cycle, and this cycle determines two uw paths, and at least one of these paths does not contain v. That is a contradiction. Hence, G has no cut vertices, and so G is a block. Now, I am going to prove 2 implies 3. For that, assume u to be a vertex and vw be an edge of G. So, by a hypothesis, u and v lie on a common cycle C. If w lies on C, then the edge vw together with vw path of C containing u is the required cycle containing u and the edge vw. If w is not on C, let C dash be the cycle containing u and w. This cycle determines two wu paths, and at least one of these paths does not contain v. Denote that path by P. Let u dash be the first vertex common to P and C. Then the edge vw followed by wu dash subpath of P and the u dash v path in C containing u form a cycle that contains u and the edge vw. So, we proved. Now, we are going to prove 3 implies 2. Assume that u is a vertex and vw to be an edge of G lie on a common cycle. Let C be that cycle containing u and vw path. This cycle C contains u and v that is incident with the edge vw. Thus, any two vertices lie on a common cycle, we proved. Now, we are going to prove 3 implies 4. Let u be the vertex and vw be the edge that lies on a common cycle C. Let u z and vw are the two edges under consideration. If z lies on C, then the cycle C dash containing u z and vw is formed by the edge u z and the U is a subpath of C containing VW. If Z is not on C, then consider the ZW path P. P does not contain U, otherwise U could be a cut vertex. Let U dash be the first vertex common to P and C. Then C dash is formed by the edge UZ, the path P and WU subpath of C containing V. 4 implies 3. Now we are going to prove 4 implies 3. So, any two vertices of G are incident with one edge, each lies on a common cycle. So, by fourth statement, hence any two vertices of G lie on a common cycle. Therefore, by 2 implies 3, any vertex and any edge of G lie on a common cycle. So, we proved all the statements. Conclusion. Dear learners, today we have seen the definition of cut vertices and cut edges. We also seen some examples and theorems related to that. We have seen the necessary and sufficient condition for an edge to be a cut edge in a connected graph. We have seen the definition of block. I hope this lecture will be useful to you. We will meet again. Thank you.